To it. Today we're going to talk about Israel Adesanya possibly taking on DDP for UFC 300. And what's my take on it? Do I think this is a fight worth making? No, I do not. Hey, what's going on, fight fans? Hey, this is Coach D the Wild Man coming at you again with another episode of Coach D Media. Now, you know I do with Coach D Media. I talk about all things combat sports related, from the highs to the lows. All right, let's go ahead and get back into it. Today, we're going to talk about Israel Adesanya possibly taking on DDP for UFC 300. And what's my take on it? Do I think this is a fight worth making? No, I do not. And let me tell you why. It's because when you're looking at iconic fights are supposed to go down in the history books, fights are supposed to be, one of the best fights ever done. It's fights you got to cultivate. It ain't just about two high-level opponents. There's plenty of high-level opponents, right? But when you have a great story that goes along with it, like two fighters coming out of Africa who's claiming the African title, you know what I'm saying? You got to cultivate that, right? You just can't go ahead and throw that back out there, right? Israel Adesanya has been taking a break. He hasn't been on social media all that much. He may chimes in on TikTok or whatever from time to time, or Twitter from time to time, but he hasn't been actively doing a whole bunch that I can see, right? And freaking Sean Strickland and DDP just came off their iconic fight with a lot of controversy, and that's still going on today. Why would you shut that conversation down and throw up another one with DDP just that fast? It makes the other one irrelevant, right? So you just can't just throw stuff together just because you want it. And UFC 300 has already its share of problems. A lot of people are saying this ain't the best card, out as of right now, because you don't have that many stars. Can't none of the people on that roster sell the card, right? It's a good card overall. It's a decent card, but it's no iconic card because there's no iconic stars on there. But you can't just throw two fighters together without establishing the buildup, right? And there's too much stuff in the way right now to give a focus on their success and why this fight needs to happen, right? Because right now, if you ask anybody who's been following this, why does this fight need to happen, right? Some will say, well, hey, they had some beef back in the day. Some people would say the UFC is desperate because they're throwing this together right now. You see what I'm saying? So why put on this fight? And then you have to ask the next question, who's the A side and who's the B side, right? Israel Adesanya is one of the biggest stars the UFC has. Done great things, beat up everybody, make tons of money, held the belt for a good time, lost it, recaptured it. Great story. DDP, came up the ranks real fast, right? Say he's going for the title, was supposed to fight Israel at one point, ended up fighting Sean Strickland and winning the belt controversially, right? Which one's the better story? Which one's the bigger story? Which one do you go with? How you tie it all together? With the UFC got all these problems, you're still supposed to boost up, Wally Zhang. She got her own story. You got to make sure gets top spot, right? You got freaking, Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway for the baddest mother effer belt, right? You still got to give that the top spot. You got to push them. You see what I'm saying, right? So how do you balance all this out that everybody gets the press it's supposed to get, and we get an iconic fight, right? Not a guarantee. We got all this crap going on at the same time. Everybody is fighting for that attention. We're in the era of attention right now. It takes time to build the kind of attention we need that sells pay-per-view buys and sells tickets. A great card can sell tickets, right? You're not guaranteed about pay-per-view. You see what I'm saying? So if you put on a great card in a town and don't got nothing going on right now, people are gonna go, right? People are gonna go, right? It's what we do when ain't shit going on. But pay-per-view is a different story. There's a lot you can do on social media. You don't have to watch a pay-per-view fight. See what I'm saying? Depending on what's going on. And don't let other promotions try to match your time slot. Like I heard a rumor of Dana White is trying to do with 300, or I forgot what card. Is it 300? There's a card that no, it's not 300. There's a card that freaking Dana White's going to throw out the same time that freaking French and Ngannou is supposed to fight. Supposed to be gonna be in the same date to kind of trying to pull those pay-per-view buys. That's garbage. You know what I'm saying? But hey, welcome to the fight game is what they do, right? That shows you how much you have to fight for pay-per-view buys. If you got to put out your card on the same time as French and Ngannou to kind of steal his thunder, and keep your thunder. You could do it on another date. Why try to fight? Why try to compete on the same day? Right? That's the kind of crap I'm talking about. There's so much going on, right? Will Israel Adesanya versus DDP get the kind of attention it's supposed to get? Right? Because you got to cultivate that. It's got to build up. You can't just throw it out there. Boom, here we go. Great fight. Hey, this has been in the making. No, it happened. It happened a couple of days ago, if it happens. Right? There was no build up to it. Right? I can't remember. Did Israel Adesanya go in the ring and call out DDP? I can't remember. Did DDP call out Israel? I can't remember. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. There's so much going on, right? Will this get the kind of attention that it needs to make it the iconic fight that it should be, right? So I don't think throwing this fight together to save UFC 300 is the way to go with this fight of this magnitude. It's a big fight. Don't get me wrong. It's a big fight, but it needs to have its own space to do it, right? You can't say, hey, this is going to be the main event of UFC 300 just like that, without no real build up, without no real story, without not the social media marketing that goes along with it, without the back and forth, because then the back and forth would be forced. They had it back then when it made perfect sense, right? It'll be forced now because Israel Adesanya is on his hiatus. Now all of a sudden he come out of nowhere and go, look, I'm gonna bust that ass. Come on now, right? It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. But we'll see. We'll see if they pull it off. DDP says he's fine, right? Coming right back. Israel Adesanya can easily get back in the gym. But here's what you don't want. Yeah, that's a good point. Here's what you don't want. You don't want something so rushed that you get an Alexander Volkanovski versus Islam situation where, it's a quick knockout fight over. Because both guys weren't properly prepared. Alex wasn't prepared for that fight. Alexander wasn't prepared for that fight. Look what happened. It cost him. Now, I'm not saying Israel Adesanya can't get in shape. He's been doing this long enough, but is his mind in the right spot? He got shit going on. He took a break for a reason. Is his mind in the right space to take this fight? Right? DDP is on a roll right now. Been fighting, been beating up everybody. He's ready. Maybe Israel Adesanya may not be. So you throw some money at him, good money, takes the fight, get knocked out. Then what? Now he's on a decline. Israel Adesanya ain't the guy he used to be. It could be over. Look, he took some time off, then got beat up. You see? And also, who's the A side? Who's the B side? Who's the top? This cause DDP got the belt, right? Is he the A side? Or is Israel Adesanya the B side? When you're out there fighting for money, right? DDP probably want to make the same kind of money Israel Adesanya making. Does he deserve it? See, a lot of stuff we can talk about. We can do this all daggone day, which is why this may not be the right fight to make right now for UFC 300, right? But we'll see. We'll see how it unfolds. Desperate times for desperate measures. Let's figure it out. All right, that's all I got. Hey, it is what it is. This is Coach D doing what I'm doing, calling it like I see it, talking my share of shit. To hear from me again, peace out.